Alright, what's going on YouTube? This is BoxingWave. Just wanted to do a video on Jarrell Miller. Alright, I don't believe I've ever done a video on Jarrell Miller before. I mean, I've talked about him and spoke about him in videos, but I never did one video on him before. I don't believe I have. So I was watching some of the interviews. He's been doing a lot of interviews lately. He's always doing interviews. I think he does a good job at marketing himself, because he talks a lot of shit. He knows what to say in these interviews. He's no stranger from, stepping up to fighters and just being really confrontational. That's him. But I was watching some of his interviews. He's doing what he usually does. He's talked about the Fury and Wilder fight. He was talking about Anthony Joshua and how he was trying to face off with him at the event last night, the Canelo fight. And that's what he does. I personally believe that he's the wild card in the division right now. Okay. Do I think he's the most talented? Hell no. No, absolutely not. But I think he's very effective with what he does. He's a big guy. He's a 300-plus pounder. And, just think about it. He literally weighs like 100 pounds more than Deontay Wilder, which is crazy. He's a big dude, and he knows how to use his size to his advantage. He doesn't load up on shots. He just wears you down. He puts the pressure on you, constant, relentless pressure. All right, he leans on you. He'll grab you and fling you against the ropes. Like, he knows what he's doing. He's a big dude, and no one really wants to take that risk. I mean, think about it. If Joshua or Wilder or whoever, Dillian White if any of those fighters were your investment, would you take the risk of fight Jarrell Miller? Would you volunteer to do it? I think the only one that really wanted to do it was Pulev. And that's the one fault, and that is the biggest mistake I think Jarrell Miller has done in his career up to this point, was not take that fight. He should have definitely taken that fight, because you would have been the mandatory for the IBF belt if he took that fight and won. Understand that you don't want to go to his backyard because you feel like the judges will be more in favor of Pulev. But this is why you have to go out there and do what you do. You can't be scared. You can't be, this is why people don't respect you, because they want to see you fight somebody good. And when you get an opportunity, being that people don't want to fight you because the risk factor is not much of a reward there. If you beat Jarrell Miller right now, you can't turn down fights against a fighter like Pulev. You just can't do it. You got to jump on those opportunities, man. And you can't be so afraid to take a loss when you're on the come up. You're not one fight away from getting a title shot. You are on the come up. You are trying to prove who you are. So I think that's the one thing I didn't like about him. But overall, he's dangerous to anyone, because he's there to get hit. He's definitely there to get hit. But if you can't knock him out, and early, if you can't knock him out, he's going to come back and wear you down. And we see fighters like Joshua, Wilder. We've seen guys like these guys slow down. Dillian White, Derek Chisora. All guys that are possibly a possible opponent. Maybe even Luis Ortiz. If you cannot knock him out, yes, you will be outboxing him for the first 3, 4, whatever amount of rounds. But once you slow down, this is the time where he's going to start picking up the pace. Who wants to really take that risk? No one. Jarrell Miller, nobody's going to fight Jarrell Miller unless he's a mandatory. Besides Pulev that one time, I don't think any of these other top guys are going to do it without him being their mandatory. It's just too risky. And the reward is not much. He doesn't have a fan base like that. The Wilder fans can't stand him. They hate him. He's with Eddie Hearn, first of all. They think he's a coon. They think that he's a hater and he's just jealous of Wilder. Then you got the Joshua fans that hate him just as much. He talks a lot of shit. Didn't fight anyone yet. He's always getting in Joshua's face. You know, I don't want to say always. I've only seen him do it once, but he's extremely disrespectful to Joshua in every interview. And the fans don't like that neither. They're like, well, who did you face? So, with all that being said, he's just gonna be. He's really the pest in this division. You know, whether you like Joshua White, all of these guys, Wilder, the fans hate this guy. But I'd rather be him than be the guy that wants to be friendly with everybody in the division. You know, like look at the welterweights where everyone wants to be friendly and be cool. Everybody wants to be buddy-buddy. I'd rather them be like Jarrell Miller, where he talks shit about every top heavyweight. He doesn't want to go and shake his hand and be friendly. That's not him. He wants to take everybody out. I mean, based on what he's saying. But he's going to have to step up. And he's not one of those guys that is just going to get a title fight based on beating these scrubs. He's not going to get it. He's going to have to work a little harder to get it. I'm glad that he's staying active and everything. But he's going to have to really step up. Because the opponents he's been facing lately, they're not going to cut it, you know. Not only is he not going to get a fight with the champs, but he's not going to get a fight with the top contenders neither by fighting these guys. They're going to pass on him, especially when they're like one fight away from getting a title shot. They're not going to fight Jarrell Miller. So Jarrell Miller is going to have to fight one or two guys that, you know, he can't turn out another Pulev opportunity, like type opportunity. Any guy that's in the top 10, he needs to get that fight popping right now, because these champions are not going to do it. And he's not in no mandatory position right now. And I don't think he's going to be unless he beats someone that's dangerous. You know, whether it's Ortiz, whether it's, who else is there? Dillian White or Chisora. He's going to have to beat someone like that, or Pulev again, you know. Anyway, I like the dude. I really do. You know, I mean, there's a little bias there. He's from Brooklyn and everything. And, you know, I support my New York fighters. But he's going to have to fight somebody. He's going to have to fight someone. And I like him, you know. I'm glad that he's in the division, you know. Anyway, let me know what you guys think on Jarrell Miller, all right? Peace.